What's going on, guys? And I'm here to give y'all this book review of Juicy J and Soren Baker called Chronicles of the Juice Man. Now, if y'all are unfamiliar with Juicy J, he's considered a legendary artist from Memphis, Tennessee, and he was a part of the group 3-6 Mafia. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna list all the members, but for those that know who 3-6 Mafia is, he was a part of that group at one point, and now he's doing his own solo thing. And he decided to make this book, or he wrote this book here along with Soren Baker. All right. Now, before I give my review on this book, just keep in mind that I will have spoilers included. Maybe not the whole book, of course. I'm not going to read the whole thing verbatim, but you probably get an understanding of the review I make after these points that I come across. And I may be a little harsh with some of the review, but it's just because of sources that I've came through, and I'll speak on all that stuff. All right, so to start this all off, it starts off with Juicy J at a party in Los Angeles, and he feel like it was too much for him to bear with, because this is around the time in 2008, 2009, when 3-6 Mafia came out with the album called Last to Walk, which was only DJ Paul and Juicy J of the group. I thought personally the album was probably one of the weakest 3-6 Mafia album, but that's just my opinion. But it did made plenty ringtones. Back then they had ringtones in 2008, around the late 2000s. He basically said that he had enough of the lifestyle that he was living in. He was living a really wild lifestyle, and he decided to, give all this up. He just said that he had enough of that lifestyle, and he decided to just, go back to Memphis. And then they continue on and it goes back in the time when he was younger, which takes place in the 1980s and the 1990s, of how crazy Memphis is. And if you can get past the rough areas of Memphis, White Haven, or also known as Black Haven, Orange Mound, all those places, Memphis is actually a musical city. It has a lot of legendary musicians came out of Memphis, such as Johnny Taylor. You had the Barkays, Isaac Hayes, may he rest in peace, the Delphonics, and many others, other musicians that came out of Memphis, and they're really proud to be from Memphis. You know what I'm saying? And that's always a good thing. And coming from a guy that I've been in Memphis, I can assure you that Memphis is a very disadvantaged city to an extent. This is predominantly black people. Not saying that it's a bad thing, but when I was there, I felt the big disadvantage in the city. And I'm not talking about people who visit there for a day or two. I mean, live there. Live there, and you will see how crazy it can be in that area. And while I was down there, I was not going to the parts that I've heard about in Memphis rap music, such as Orange Mound or Mitchell Heights, places like that. I said, nope, absolutely not. As I was not taking any chances. He just talks about the time when he was a kid and the things that he went through with his parents and things of that nature. He started DJing, for mixtapes, and speaking of the DJ mixes, I wonder if anyone out there has the volume 1 for the notorious mixed Juicy J tapes. You know what I'm saying? because I know it has to be out there somewhere. And hopefully in the future, Juicy J will remaster them, or, you know, at least put a few songs from the tapes that he made back in those times. You know, it would be nice. There's a few songs that he did mention, that he had a song called Criminal Zone, and I don't know what tape that's off of, you know what I'm saying? So my guess was it was definitely local. Maybe a few people heard it. I have no idea where that song could be. So if anyone out there has it, please don't be a gatekeeper. Try to, you know, share it. You know what I'm saying? If they have it. Like I said before, hopefully Juicy J release some of these songs in the near future. You know, the early days of Juicy J, low down. You know what I'm saying? But there was a song he made called Don't Be Scared, Put the Rumble on the Head. We all know, we all heard that song. You know what I'm saying? Slob on My Knob Saga. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, man. Let's just say he came up with the idea, right? Listen to the beat. And I'm talking about the original song called Slob on My Knob. Doesn't it sound very similar to Looking for the Chewin'? This was a song that came out around that same time frame with DJ Squeaky. DJ Squeaky came out with that song that featured 8Ball and MJG. DJ Zerk, I believe, was on there, and there might be some other cats that I'm missing out, but I think Skinny Pimp 2 was on there. But don't that sound very similar to Slob on My Knob? Just saying. Because it says in the book that Juicy J came up with the idea, but through sources, I'm not going to really get into details with that, but through sources, people said that some of their equipment got stolen and they came up with that beat, and that's how it came about. But could be wrong there. There was times when he dealt with a guy, if y'all remember the Project Pat song called Murderers and Robbers, Project Pat took shots at him saying, you know, the car ain't alive and the car ain't the nig. You know, I think he was referring to the rapper. I'm not going to say his name. Y'all can guess who it is. So they was taking, you know, shots at each other, literally two possibly. And it was a crazy situation. I was reading that part where Juicy J was talking about how Pat tried to confront the dude and he ran. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, wow, that's some crazy stuff, man. I was like, man, that would have been crazy to see. I mean, I'm sure people witnessed that back in those times, but man, that would have been some sight to see, man. And then the song called The Notorious Juicy J, I had no idea. This song was off of the Volume 5 of Juicy J, and he's talking about his dad on there. You know, about hypocrites and stuff like that. You know, his dad was a preacher, and then I guess he, you know, didn't practice what he preached and all that stuff. So it was on some crazy stuff, man. And then also it fast forward to the Escape from Hell Volume 8. You know, that's one of my favorite volumes from Juicy J. The only problem with the damn volume is that it's not in great quality. I don't know anyone out there who can make that volume in good quality except Juicy J himself. So if he ever comes across this video, man, you need to remaster that dang on volume, dog. What's up? So he talks about that volume, and there's a song called Suck a Mean D, and it's dedicated to the ones that was talking crap about him and those that want to go after him and stuff like that. And he's ready. And the sample, is it my sound that be turning niggas into killers? You know, that part is sampled on a couple of songs actually, you know what I'm saying? So I was happy to hear that sample from where it came from. It was wild, man, because that's one of my favorite songs ever, man. And shoot, I might hear it later on today. You know what I'm saying? So it fast forward to how him and Paul met up with each other, because they said DJ Paul was on some dark, devilish stuff, while Juicy J, he was on it, but not to the full. You know what I'm saying? A little background for those that thought DJ Paul and Lord Infamous were brothers. They're actually uncle and nephew. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. You know, I always thought they were brothers from another mother. You know what I'm saying? So Lord Infamous, may he rest in peace. They say he came up with the idea of 666 Mafia. That's how they came out with the group 666 Mafia. So DJ Paul and Lord met up later on in those times. They came out with a few other tapes. Y'all know the 666 Mafia, Smoked Out, Loped Out. They came out with that tape